Hi, my name is Eugene. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, also the owner of Security Protection Industries. You can check it out at www.shyguards.com. Today we're going to be working with Glock 23. I have a Glock 23, which is a 40 caliber. Glock is a pretty good gun. Law enforcement likes to use it. Law enforcement uses the weapon because they're very reliable. There's no safety on the Glock 23 or any of the Glocks. So that's one of the great advantages for law enforcement. It's a pretty good gun, really good gun. I like a gun that is action first. You know, I don't have time for safety. Like they teach you in the Army, your trigger finger is your safety. Now there is a safety feature on the Glock, and it's basically the trigger finger. You have a button right here that if you don't press it, then it won't go off. So, you know, it will actually, as you can see, I'm not pressing the button right now. It won't go off. But if I press the button along with the trigger, then it does fire. You have other safety features on other guns, such as you sometimes have like a little button over here. Right here, this is to release the top hook, the top slider. But they have a safety right here. You have a safety button right there sometimes on certain other weapons. But the thing is that sometimes when people are in a crazy situation, they're in a situation where they have to defend themselves, they can pull out their weapon and next thing you know, they're trying to defend themselves by firing at whatever the threat is, and the weapon doesn't go off. And the reason why is because they forgot in their panic situation that the safety is on those. You know, you have to react fast. Now, I'm not saying that safety isn't good. It's probably recommended for most people who carry firearms, especially beginners. But if you are if you feel like you need to carry a weapon for self-defense purposes, then you definitely need to learn how to use your weapon without having to depend on safety. A very important thing that a lot of people don't understand: you should never point your weapon at anyone. Okay, there's nobody behind the camera, I'm just recording, but notice that you should not point your weapon at anyone, at the gun range, anyone. You should always treat every weapon as if it is loaded. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you took the weapon out, you took the mag out, oh, it's not loaded, you even check the chamber, or you pull the slide, it's not loaded. I don't even point the weapon even when I have it cocked to the rear. I don't point the weapon at anybody, because anything can happen, especially when you put a weapon. Now I'm going to explain to you. So I'm cocking it. Now it's loaded. Okay, there's a bullet in the chamber. I don't know if you see it. There's a bullet in the chamber. Right there, you see that? Yeah, there you go. You see it. Now, the thing about it, people sometimes forget. They'll take the mag out, hand it to their friend, or point it at somebody, not knowing that there's still a bullet in the chamber. Some people will even lock it to the rear. Now, if I lock it slowly, bullet's going to fall out. But sometimes, it's a very slim chance, but sometimes you can lock it to the rear and the bullet is still in the chamber. It's probably locked right here. It kind of got jammed, kind of got caught up, and all it takes is and then someone could accidentally fire the weapon on accident. A lot of accidents can happen, and you don't want to be in that kind of predicament. Like, you don't want no accidents happening when you're at the gun range, or even if you're at home and you're showing your friends your weapon. You always, my opinion, what I always do when my friends want to take a look at my weapon, someone that is always a good friend. I don't let anybody look at my weapon, really like hold my weapon. But I always unload my weapon. I take the mag out, I lock it to the rear, I check it. Sometimes I fire it just in case, I lock it to the rear, then I hand it to them like this or hand it to them like that. Either way, you know, they look at it, examine it, you know, and oh wow, it's a nice gun, they point at it, but as long as they don't point it at nobody, I'm okay, because I don't care. Whatever weapon you have, you always treat it as if it's loaded, even if you are absolutely 100% sure it's not loaded. You treat it like it's loaded. When you're at the gun range, I see a lot of videos, and also when I was at the gun range, I see a lot of videos, a lot of people will be pointing their gun, boom, 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 they think they're done, and they're at their friend, like, oh man, you know, like you cannot do that, because if you do that, it can accidentally go off and shoot your friend. Like I said, always keep your weapon down range. That's the best bet. When you're at the range, keep it down range. Put it on the table flat, down range. Don't put it sideways, don't put it towards you. Keep it downrange. I'm wearing my vest today to show you what I like to wear. I'm so used to wearing my vest when I have a gun with me because at the Army, we always practice that in the U.S. Army. Every time we go to the range, when we have our M16 and M4, we always put our vest on. I never really knew why we did that, but I believe it was so if anything happens, you have a vest to protect you, even if it's an accidental friendly fire, you know, things do happen. The range, you have a vest, and I'm cool with that, because I could be out. I don't know if a bullet's going to ricochet. You know, as long as I have my vest on, I feel good. It's perfectly legal to own a vest down here in Florida. I don't know in other states. If you conceal carry and you have a license to conceal carry, you're allowed to have bulletproof vests. You're actually allowed to walk around like this, to be honest with you. There's nothing illegal about it. But in a concealed carry state, you must not have your weapon visible. The funny thing about it is you could have your weapon in your shirt and it shows the imprint of the weapon, and it's still perfectly legal to have your weapon, even if it's showing the imprint on your shirt. You're still concealed carrying. I know it sounds stupid, but it's still considered concealed carrying. On the weapon here, you have a release button right here. This is what's responsible for releasing the mag. You press it, and the mag comes out. Okay. To make sure there's no bullet in the chamber, you pull it to the rear and you lock it. There's a switch up here. Let me show it to you. There's a switch right here. You can't just pull it back and think it's going to lock. It's not going to lock. You have to pull it back and put your thumb up, and then it locks it to the rear. That's when it locks to the rear. If you accidentally tap it or whatever may be, you will make it ride forward. As you can see, it rolled forward. It is very important when you're at the gun range to keep your hand in this area when shooting a gun. I've seen this a lot of times. I've seen people at the gun range firing their weapon. Their hand is too high, correct, right? The slider will slide back and literally cut their hand because it slides back so fast. Oh, I can feel it right now. You slide it back, it'll cut your hand. It's a sharp edge. It'll cut your hand and come back. I've seen a lot of people do this before, and they're bleeding and leaking, and they gotta leave the gun range. I was at the gun range, and this guy had 2 girls with him, and he's showing off. You know, he's shooting at the range and doing his thing, and then he shot the weapon, and it cut him, and he was bleeding, and it was so it's embarrassing because he looked like he knew what he was doing, but his actions showed otherwise. Like I said, make sure your hand is right here, where the little curvature right here of the weapon is, so you can make sure you don't get caught in the cut. They have a name for it. I forgot what it's called, like a bite, a gun bite or something like that. I forgot the name. If you comment below if you remember that name. I forgot the name. So as I was trying to demonstrate, when you lock your weapon to the rear, you pull it up right here, this switch, and it locks the weapon to the rear. Okay, you will not lock it to the rear if you just keep doing that. It's just, you know, it's not going to do anything. So, also, when you want to put the bullet in the chamber, this is a semi-automatic. There's another joke I'm going to explain to you guys. It's a semi-automatic gun. I just went to the range one time. I seen a guy take a Glock, semi-automatic, put the mag inside the weapon, locked, cocked it, had the bullet in the chamber, and he shoots once, the shell flies out, right? He cocks the gun again, shoots again. He cocks the gun again, shoots again. This is not a BB gun. This is not an airsoft gun. This is a semi-automatic. When you fire the weapon automatically reloads until you run out of ammunition. You must understand, it's a semi-automatic gun. When you fire the weapon, it should go back and lock the next round into the chamber. Okay? To clear your weapon. Now, as I remember, I put a bullet in the chamber. If I want to clear it, I press the button. Okay? If I pull it right now, a bullet will fly out, but another bullet will go back in the chamber. Okay? I'm gonna demonstrate. As you can see, a bullet just flew out. Is it empty? No. I just locked another bullet in the chamber. You can see there, okay? What you have to do first is drop the mag, okay? Then you clear the weapon. Bullet flew out, okay? Look at the chamber. Make sure you don't see a gold or a silver solid in the chamber. Okay, a bullet, a round. Okay, it's clear. That's what I normally do downrange. When I clear it, I keep the weapon pointed downrange, lock it to the rear. I'm sorry, I let it slide forward. I pull the trigger, making sure it's clear. Okay, loading your weapon. This is pretty simple. I have a strong thumb. You get used to it after a while. This is the round. This is the bullet. Bullet is facing this way. These are range rounds, so that's why it's flat on the top. The range rounds got the flat on the top, so it could leave a better circular imprint on your target, so you can see what you shot. They're more effective. So they're range bullets. That's what they call them. You take this, and you have the gold, the darkest tip, pointed out. You put it in here, and you push down. I usually use 2 thumbs. Push it in, slide it down back here. So now it's good. Okay, it's good. I've seen some people come to me and ask me, "Is this good?" I mean, it was out like that. No, you have to pull it, push it all the way back. Okay, make sure it's good. Once you understand the bullet, that tip right there should not be hit with any kind of pin or anything. I mean, you got to get hit with a sharp pin, and that's what makes the explosion happen. The explosion mechanism makes the lead fly out. A lot of people think this whole bullet is what's flying in the air. No, that's not what's going on. This is just the shell that holds the lead bullet. This is the lead part. This is what's flying, and this is the jacket. This is what's flying in the air, and then the shell flies out. Okay, because there's gunpowder inside. I want to really discuss the importance of properly holding a weapon. Now, the reason why I'm discussing this is because some people have the ideal that, or they copy movies. You know, you pull out your gun and you can fire it this way. There's no proper form of firing a weapon. You can fire a weapon any kind of way, to be honest with you. But the best way to fire a weapon is to go out this way and to fire. And the reason why I say that is because if you fire like this, right? If you fire like this, you can't really see your target on the right side. So you neutralize your target right here, but then you also might have a target on the right side. You can't really see him or her or whoever it may be because of the way your arm is. Now, if you have your arm like this, you are able to see what other targets you have around you. So if you just like basically take your arm and just go like that sideways and see your sight, your vision of what is in your line of sight, you would notice that there's a lot of things that are blocked on your right hand, or if you're left-handed, the same situation. That's why, to me personally, I believe it's better to fire this way. Also, I just want to say, go to the gun range, practice, learn how to use your weapon, get familiar with your weapon. You need to do that, because if you don't, the time of self-defense, you may not even hit your threat. You probably would hit an innocent child or an innocent person in the street. I think it's very important that our brothers and sisters understand how to properly use a weapon, because if you don't, you can endanger the lives of many people that are around you. Someone comes at you, shoots at you. Now you're in a position of self-defense. You draw your weapon, okay? You shoot like this. Boom, 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 boom. You might not even be shooting right. You just shoot at the target. There's people that are in a panic mode and they just do, and they're ducking, not even looking at what they're shooting. You have to get familiar with it. You have to overcome that fear when you fire your weapon at a person. That's a threat, okay? You don't want to hit any innocent bystanders. You could hit a child, you could hit someone's mom, someone's father, or someone's son. Worse, someone's daughter. A life matters. Okay, let's all try to get this right and make sure we don't make those mistakes in self-defense, okay? Try not to shoot at like this, unless you really mastered it somehow. But you want your peripheral to be open. You want to be able to see what's on your right and what's on your left. So you want to shoot like this. You want to properly hold the weapon. Shoot at your target. Go to the range. Learn. Practice. This has been a little quick video about how to properly use your weapon. I believe everybody should arm themselves. I believe everybody should have a weapon and a concealed light. Proper education. Learn about your weapon. Use your weapon. Go to the range, practice, learn it. It's like a car. It's like a motorcycle or car. It's something you got to get used to. You got to learn how to use it so it can become you, okay? And become a natural instinct. All right, guys. Have a good day.